Why do you think America has failed in the war on drugs?
You ask me why I believe our current drug policy of drug prohibition is not working, and the evidence is all around us. It's just that people are not focusing on it. If you look at it, these drugs, even though they can be dangerous, have been with us since the beginning of mankind. There's never been a society on the face of the earth that has not had some mind-altering, sometimes addicting drugs to use, abuse, and get addicted to. So the question is, if they're going to be here, they're going to be harmful, let's take steps to reduce that harm, understanding that they will never go away no matter what we do. So what we are doing now in our country with drug prohibition is compounding the problems, because the drug money is much more dangerous really than the drugs themselves. And that takes on a micro or a macro aspect that's really unbelievable. If you or anyone else would start to look into this more deeply, you would be horrified at the unnecessary harm that we are inflicting upon ourselves. The harm is mostly inflicted upon our children. We are continuing with this failed policy, basically to do it for our kids. We're trying to keep these sometimes dangerous drugs away from our children. The problem is the drug money, in effect, puts our children in harm's way for two reasons. Number one, it is easier for our children, our underage adults, to get any form of illegal drug, be it marijuana or anything else, than it is a six-pack of beer. Why? Because as soon as you prohibit something, you give up your ability to regulate and control it. And so, basically, the drug dealers don't ask for ID. And you talk to any of the high school kids, underage kids that you want, they'll tell you the same thing they tell me. It's easier to get any illicit drug than it is alcohol. Number two is the drug money is recruiting children to sell drugs. They see and they realize they'll probably never be able to make as much money on anything as they can by selling drugs. And then, of course, who do they sell to? You and me? No. They sell to their 14, 15, 16-year-old peers, thus recruiting more children into a lifestyle of drug usage and drug selling. It is not a pretty picture.
And what's the answer? What is your proposal?
You, like everyone else, will ask, what's the answer? And there is no answer. There's no solution to this problem. There's only a resolution. And the resolution is to reduce the harm that can and will be caused from these drugs in our communities. But allow each state to decide how best to serve its people. The federal government does not have all of the answers. In fact, what we're doing now, flat out, is not working. So that's what I would do. If I were in King of California, because that's where I live, I would basically start with marijuana. I would treat marijuana like alcohol. What would happen if we were to do that? 5 things, all of them beneficial. The first thing that would happen is we in California alone, as taxpayers, could save $1 billion that each year we spend in a futile effort to eradicate marijuana and incarcerate nonviolent marijuana users. And by the way, marijuana is the largest cash crop in the state of California today. Number 2 is grapes, if you care. So we could save that $1 billion. The second thing we could do is tax the silly stuff and generate revenue of about $1.5 billion every year. So now we have a $2.5 billion change in our budget deficit. You'd think somebody would notice. The third thing trumps the first two, and that is we would make marijuana less available for our children than it is today, because today the marijuana users or sellers do not ask for ID. We couldn't make this drug more available if we tried. The fourth thing that would happen is it would negate the entire medical marijuana issue. People who need this medical marijuana could get it through their medical doctors or otherwise, and it would get the federal government basically out of this business, which would be a really good thing. And the fifth thing is that we could reclaim the entire hemp industry. That is a valuable commodity, and if you look into it, it's amazing what people can make from hemp. So those are the 5 things, and it's simply loony not to do this.